All right, welcome everybody. This series is going to be called, I guess, Defending Converts to Judaism. So my name is Yosef, and it's a very long series, but if you follow to the end, you will be more knowledgeable than 99% of the rabbis out there when it comes to conversion to Judaism, the laws and everything surrounding that. So the way that I got started with this was I was invited to give a presentation on the laws, the halakha of converting to Judaism. So there was a community that had a group of people converting and they wanted me to teach that, which I was happy to do. And the reason why was because I've seen many converts being treated unfairly, attacked by Jews and rabbis who have never read the laws of conversion even one time in their life. Which, not only is this a shanda, but it was just mind-boggling to me that rabbis don't know the laws. Because your job as a rabbi is not only to be a teacher, but is to be there for the needs of the Jewish community. And if they don't know how to tell who is a Jew and who is not, with regards to converts, then should they really be the rabbi? So I think to combat this, we need to educate the people and bring attention to this matter, and that's the only way that we're going to solve it. So I gave the presentation, and it was well received, and then I was asked to do it again, and I've taught it to several communities now, and it's always well received. So each time I kept expanding on it, and now it's very long, but I'm going to break it up so we can have shorter videos, because I know people's attention span, if I have a 4-hour video, nobody's going to watch it. So the second part of this series, I'll do a separate introduction for that, and we'll call that one Introduction to the Laws of Converting to Judaism. And in that, we'll learn and go through what is the halakha, where does it come from, how do we determine this, and then we'll go through the codifications. We're going to learn Rambam's Mishneh Torah. We're going to see where he gets this from, because people say Rambam's not the end-all be-all. So we're going to go through the Talmud and see where he's getting it from. And then you have people that say, well, we don't go by that. We go by the Shulchan Aruch. So we're going to go through the Shulchan Aruch also. We're going to see if Rambam or Yosef Karo is inventing new things, or if it's the same theme, sometimes word for word, from the Talmud to the Mishneh Torah to the Shulchan Aruch. Okay, so that'll be the second part. And then in the third part, which I'm working on creating now, is what's usually the most common deterrent given by rabbis when potential converts come seeking to convert, is what I call the Noahide scam. They're pushed away and told not to convert, and that instead they're supposed to have some other religion invented by rabbis. So that'll be the third part. The first part we're going to go through is an article by Mark Angel. It's called Conversion to Judaism, Halakha, Hashkafa, and Historic Challenge. Okay, this is a 15-page article. So what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description, and it'll be in PDF form. So if anybody wants to print this out, they can print it. They can translate it into other languages, because I know there's communities that follow that we have translators that help us communicate this information. So feel free to translate this and start teaching it to your own communities. So this is a 15-page article, and what I'll do is I'll go through each page one at a time, and I'll put the text of the article on the screen. So it'll be about 15 videos to get to the end of this, and the last page and a half, the last half of page 14 and all of page 15 is nothing but sources for everything mentioned in this article. So as I mentioned, it's very long, so what you may want to do is get a pen and paper and either take notes or at least write down timestamps, because this is going to overcome almost every objection that you're ever going to hear when it comes to dealing with converts. So if you hear somebody say that we can't accept a family because of intermarriage, or they want to convert but the other partner in the relationship is Jewish and so he's accepted, but we don't want to convert the other partner, you're going to see there's sources here where we're going to give you the name of the rabbi, who he was, the chief Sephardic rabbi of Israel in 1953, who demanded not only that we convert these people, the reason why he said it, and where he got this from. So you're going to have all the sources to defend yourself if you're a convert or a potential convert. And if you are Jewish and you see other people mistreating converts, you have an obligation to defend them as well. So, there's a statement in the Talmud that silence is agreement. And if we don't stand up and start helping these people, then it's like we're in agreement with what we see happening. So when you see them being mistreated, such as, for example, if there's a Jew who drove on Shabbat and he comes in with his car keys and he's being given an aliyah, and then there's a convert that's not, and I've seen rabbis say this, well, because you converted, you have to follow all the laws, otherwise we can't recognize your conversion. You're going to be able to say, well, according to Rambam in his Mishneh Torah, Suri Bia, chapter 12, halacha 17, says that there is no difference between someone who converts to Judaism and someone who is born into Judaism. And even the commentary on this states, with all matters of religious observance. So if somehow one Jew is not being given an aliyah, but the other Jew is, and they're both behaving exactly the same, why are we giving special treatment to one? That would be mistreating the other one. So this is not a small deal. This is one of the sins that Hashem said he would be willing to destroy the Jewish people over, mistreating the convert along with the orphan and the widow. So we have an obligation to do something about this. I was listening to a lecture by Rabbi Mendel Kessin once, and he was going over what happens when you die. And of course, I consider this to be opinion. I can't teach this is exactly what happens, even if this is what happens and this is what you're going to experience. I can't say this is what everyone else is going to experience. But in this lesson, he said you're going to be asked several things. And one of them is, when you saw an injustice happening, did you speak up? And the question that he asked was stated in a very specific way. It didn't say that, did you change the outcome? Did you prevent it? Did you solve the problem? The question basically asked, did you speak up? Did you do the absolute minimum to say something? Now, if you see one person being attacked by a mob of 30 people, maybe you can't change that outcome. Maybe if you don't have a weapon, you don't have the physical ability to change the outcome of what's going to happen. But you do have a voice. You can speak up and say, I disagree with what's happening. If you're not willing to do that, then what's your answer going to be? No, I saw the injustice. I saw the mistreatment of my brethren, and I said nothing. I allowed it to continue, and I didn't even voice the fact that what I saw happening was wrong. I didn't let anybody know. So from the time I heard that, with all the injustices that I've seen towards converts, whether through the ignorance of the laws or through the nefarious intent, which unfortunately does exist in Jewish communities sometimes, I decided every time I see somebody being mistreated, I'm going to at least say something. And fortunately, I've been invited to learn this information in this course to be able to give it over to others. So that is what I'm doing, and hopefully you all will enjoy it. And again, the link to this article will be in the description. And other than that, we're going to move on to page 1 of the article.